So we've just wrapped up a podcast with Mr. Ivan Ivanov, or Coach Ivan Ivanov, and I'm here in Boise, Idaho. And we've got an event today, Ivan. Tell us a little bit about it.
It's a great event, and we have well-performed athletes ready to go. They've been training really, really hard. We have a few nations here.
How many countries from around the world are here?
We have participants from Bulgaria, Ireland, England, South Korea, and Mexico, and United States, of course.
What are the key exercises then they're going to be doing today for the competition?
The key exercises today are those exercises that we cover at the Bulgarian Bag Level 1 course. Those dynamic signature exercises, the spin, snatch, swing squat, press and squat, and spin arm throw. Those exercises have to be done in very intense mode and requires a lot of muscular endurance in order to win. It's tough. You know?
Well, let's go in and check out and see what's happening, Ivan.
Welcome to the very first Suples Bulgarian Bag Championships in the United States. Today's day is for all of you. And did you know that just by being here, we are making Suples history? Because no one else in the entire world can say that they have been to or competed at the Bulgarian Bag Championships in the United States. So we deserve one more round of applause for just being here today. So this is to all our competitors. Whatever training and preparation you have put in leading up to this will be put to the test today. You versus all other competitors in your category. You versus the Bulgarian bag. And most importantly, you versus yourself. If you come out of this a stronger person physically and mentally, then that is 100% a win regardless of the outcome today, okay? So I want you guys all to know that. The first country represented is the country of Bulgaria. Our next country is Ireland. Next, we have Mexico. Following Mexico, we have Poland. Next, we have South Korea. Next, we have the United Kingdom, led by representative and competitor, and also a representative for Escape Fitness, Ritchie Januszek. Finally, we have the United States. What an army here, look at that.
I wish you all the best to participate. Start strong and finish stronger. This is our Suples quote. Expect to win. Thank you.
3, 2, 1. Here we go.
How'd you feel when you went into that then, Richie?
Well, what an experience. To be honest, it's kind of a relief, you know. It's been a sort of a constant goal, and to go through it, you know, to perform, and I feel as though everything kind of went to plan. I gave it everything that I can, and satisfied and pleased, and feel as though I've accomplished something. So yeah, pretty good.
You were talking through yesterday the training and what you were doing with your own bag, and you mentioned when you got here, it's probably your plan that you put in place weren't quite what you thought it might be when you started to look at the bag. So talk a little bit about what happened there then.
Yeah, I think, I like to sort of plan things, and going into this, I'd kind of figured out a bit of formula for what reps I wanted to achieve in certain times, and I kind of had it all planned out. And actually coming over on the plane, I'd kind of, you know, figured it all out and said, right, for this exercise, I want to do this many reps by this time, and I had this master plan. And then, yeah, typical fashion on the day, it kind of went completely out the window. In fact, it went completely out the window yesterday when I got my hand on the bag, and yeah, they're brand new bags straight out of the packaging, and I'd obviously been practicing with quite an old beaten up bag, which is very worn in, and Bulgarian bags are a little bit like an old pair of leather shoes, and you know, the more you wear them, they kind of, you know, bend and crease up and, you know, get more comfortable, and these ones were not very forgiving, so yeah, it was a real sort of challenge on the grip. And generally I found that particularly on the exercises such as the spin, when, you know, they're very heavy on the grip, I probably wasn't, you know, I was a little bit short of what I'd expected, but, you know, same for everybody, and, you know, a level playing field, so can't complain, you know.
Well, the squat stuff looked pretty tough. Like the thrusters, they seem to be quite a challenge, because you like just doing 50 air squats on your own, let alone having weight. How were those ones?
Yeah, so for me, typically, I'm somebody that does, you know, probably more shorter repetition, you know, lower volume, but kind of heavier weight. You know, that's just always the way that I've kind of approached training. This was very different. You know, it's very high volume, high repetition. You know, there's a lot of endurance, a lot of stamina required. So for me, yeah, I've really had to switch up my training, and yeah, you know, completely changed the way that I approach you know, the competition. So yeah, I've done, you know, a lot more high volume stuff, just trying to condition my body. I mean, the first few times that I worked through the competition protocol that we did today, like, you know, as you say, a couple of hundred squats, and it took me about 4 or 5 days before I could walk probably afterwards. So it was a bit of a shock to the system. I've been doing it now for maybe 2-3 months, and my body has begun to adjust and, you know, and kind of learn to deal with that volume. But yeah, it's took some time, and it's took a new approach to my training, yeah.
Yesterday you were talking about one of the things that you did for your recovery and that made a difference. So what was that, and what sort of difference did it make?
Yeah, so I've learned a lot about my body, and you know, a lot of really valuable lessons that I'll take with me now. And one big thing is kind of recovery, managing recovery in particular. You know, and for me, I'm somebody that, you know, if I know I've got something to train for, I'm not shy of putting in the work. And if anything, sometimes I can be guilty of kind of overtraining. And with this competition, you know, I was eager to do the reps, you know, as often as I can. But because of the time it was taking my body to recover, you know, for the muscle soreness to die down and my body to recover and repair, the biggest challenge was doing the work, but then, you know, getting in the recovery time so I could go and push again, and I wasn't actually having a negative effect on my body by just beating it up and wearing it down. Couple of things, big lessons which I've learned. The first one is kind of heat therapy or sauna. Is something that, you know, I'd kind of been hearing a lot about recently. There's a lot of, you know, kind of research out there and interviews and podcasts and stuff, and a lot of people are raving about that. I joined up at kind of a local health centre recently and started incorporating sauna sessions into my week, and they had a huge effect. You know, I'm somebody that's kind of experimented with various supplements and, you know, all different types of recovery methods, but that was the one thing that had just a huge effect immediately. You know, I went from 4-day recovery to, you know, almost halving that to kind of 1-2 days, and then being able to go again. So for me, you know, I can't overstate the impact that's kind of had on my training.
How many weeks or months were you preparing for this? Quite, you know, seriously preparing for it.
So I think I heard about it. It was just after FIBO, I think. So it's probably about April time. I heard about it. You know, I'm a competitive guy. I love to compete, and you know, probably I'm 39 years old, and all my life I've competed in various different sports. And for me, that's a really important thing that always keeps me sort of pushing and, you know, kind of trying to improve. And I've kind of missed that the last few years. There's not really anything that's kind of got me fired up enough to want to dedicate my training to focus on. But I heard about this. I can't remember whether it was Ivan or one of the Suples team that told me about it. And yeah, it just, you know, it kind of sparked something. And yeah, that's my kind of competition, you know. I'm a huge advocate of the Bulgarian bag. You know, all the guys, the kind of family at Suples, I'm really close to. And yeah, just, you know, it was something that I wanted to get involved with and pit my skills against the best people in the world. You know, these guys are notorious for being like ultra elite athletes and wrestlers, and you know, everybody kind of sees Suples as being the real sort of gold standard. And you know, just to be here today and be involved with this is a real achievement. So yeah, you know, in answer to your question, probably I think about 3 months. The first month sort of half and half, and then the last couple of months after I'd booked my flights and really committed to going, I was like, well, look, you know, I'm in. I might as well go all in, you know, and I've almost been completely just working with a bag, you know, trying to work on you know, high volume work with the bag, and then supplementing that with some sort of HIIT workouts, boxing conditioning, just supplementary things that are going to have a positive impact on my overall conditioning, really.
You're mentioning that the preparation or the support about the preparation from Suples was pretty good. Can you tell us a little bit about what they did to help you on that journey?
Yeah, they've been great. You know, I think the organisation today has been just you know, fantastic. You know, really, considering it's the first time they've done this, it's been really professional. So hats off to those guys. But leading up to it, probably what a lot of people don't realise is, you know, they've been very close to us this whole time. From support on, you know, booking your flights, accommodation, you know, kind of getting everybody, you know, booked on and looking after that whole process. But also support on the training side, you know, on their social media, they've been sort of sharing constant tips, things like teaching points, things to watch out for. You know, they've been really sort of, you know, when people are signing up, they've been doing little features promoting the people that are going to be involved, which is a great thing for the network as well. You know, I've always been close to the guys at Suples, but following this, I've made so many new connections on social media, and you know, and then combining that with coming here and meeting people face to face, you know, I feel as though it's really brought the community closer, which can only be a good thing, you know.
Would you do it again next year?
Ask me in a few days. Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, what I need to think is, you know, I need to think what I could do differently to have a better result, you know. As I say, I'm ultra competitive, which is, you know, which can be good, and also it's got positive aspects and negative. You know, so I like to compete, but I like to win as well. So yeah, I'd need to go away, probably watch the videos, and then think, right, well, look, you know, if I was to come again, how could I fine-tune my preparation? What could I do differently to get a better result? You know, yeah, that's kind of what I'm going to need to consider, I think. Yeah.
At this stage, is there anything that you can think now of, like off the top of your head, like what, if you did go into it, like what would be 1 or 2 things you'd do differently?
Start training sooner, which is an obvious one, I guess. You know, I mean, if I am going to compete next year, then I'll probably start training next week. I think I'd have to keep up with some of these guys. What else could I do differently? Yeah, I don't know. This is the thing. This is what I've got to figure out. I mean, you know, it's as I say, I've learned a huge amount, and you know, regardless of the result, you know, I've learned some lessons of myself and my body, and you know, the thing that I really love about competing is it puts yourself, you know, as a you think you know yourself, but when you put yourself in this type of environment, there's certain things that you can only learn about yourself from putting yourself in this type of environment. You know, you can't really recreate that kind of pressure, and you can't do it. You know, you can't simulate that unless you actually put yourself in the deep end and do it. So yeah, you know, I think I've learned a lot of lessons, yeah, what I would do differently at the moment, I don't know, but you know, still very kind of raw at the moment. Literally finished 10 minutes ago. I'm a little bit, you know, lightheaded, and I need to let it all sink in. And as I say, go away, watch the videos, and then plan what I want to do next.
Did you escape your limits?
Absolutely, yeah. I think I pushed for about 10 more reps rather than 1 more rep. Mike was, you know, a great help. You know, and as I say, although my numbers weren't, you know, I've achieved a higher total. Like last week, I probably scored 20 more, but in actual fact, you know, in terms of what I actually put in, you know, physically, I couldn't have done a single more rep. You know, I almost like felt like I wanted to collapse out there, and I had nothing else to give. So, you know, I can rest assured that what I gave out there was absolutely everything that I got. And at the end of the day, that's all you can do, you know. And that goes for my training, my preparation, and my performance today was everything that I got, you know.
Well done. Did a great job.
Cool. Thank you.
The men's Suples Extreme category. Yes, earning the bronze medal with a total of 445 reps, representing the United States, Michael Gentile. Congratulations, Michael. Earning the silver medal with a total of 479 reps from Team Grit in the United States, Jaime Ayala. Hey, congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Now, earning not only the gold medal, but setting a world record for something that has never done before, with a total of 563 reps and qualifying elite from Suples, Korea, Chungmuk Lee.